Welcome to MRU E-Learning, powered by Malla Reddy University. Myself, D. Sunita, Assistant Professor from Department of CSE, School of Engineering. Today I am going to discuss about the object-oriented programming concepts in Java. Whenever we want to learn about the Java, we have to learn about the object-oriented programming concepts. Coming to our concepts, first introduction. In this video, I have to discuss about the introduction, class, object, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. In introduction part, we will discuss about what is the object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming is the methodology to design a program using classes and objects. The popular object-oriented programming languages are Java, Python, PHP, C++, Ruby, etc. Object-oriented programming concepts in Java are the class, object, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. These are the object-oriented programming concepts we are used in programming in Java. Coming to the class, what is the first one? Class. Class is a logical entity. Class is the logical entity. It is a collection of the object. Class, we can call it as a collection of object. It is the blueprint of the object. Class is the blueprint of an object, and class is logical entity. That is not the physical entity. And one more thing is class contains methods and data members. That means class mainly contains two things. One is methods and second one is the data members. Class, whenever we declare the class, memory will not be allocated. Whenever we define the class, memory will not be allocated. Whenever we create the instance to the class, then only memory will be allocated. From one class, we can create more than one object. By using single class, we can create the number of objects. Means we can create one or more objects by using single class. Coming to the declaring the classes, syntax for the class is First one is access modifiers. First part of whenever we want to create the class, first one we have to give the access modifier and followed by the class keyword and class name. Here is the syntax to the class declaration of the class. First one is access modifier. Access modifier is the first part of the declaration of the class. Next, class is the keyword. This one is the keyword. Class is the keyword and class name. This is the different words we can related to the class. We can give the different names to the related to the class. And this class contains the data members and methods and constructor. Whenever we want to define the class, we have to give data members, constructors, methods, and we can give the nested classes also. And these are all about the class. Now we will see the example for the class. Here I declare the one class, that is the student. Whenever we declare the class, memory will not be allocated. Whenever we create the instance to the class, then only memory will be allocated. That's why you can give this is the logical entity. That's why you can call it as a class is a logical entity. Here, this is the example for the class. Here we declare the student class. It contains student ID and name, that is int id string name. These are the student details, and here I define one constructor, that is a parameterized constructor. Here this constructor is used to initialize the variables. And coming to the here S1 is the instance of the class. That means whenever we give the S1, whenever we declare the create the S1, then only memory will be allocated for S1 only. That is about the class concept. Coming to the next concept, object. What is an object? It is a physical entity in a real world. The object is the physical entity in a real world. Whatever existing in the physical, that we can call it as a object. In real world, here pencil, apple, these are all existing physically. Then these we can call it as a object. Book, bird, bag, humans, these are all the objects. Okay. An object, this object is created from a class. This object is created from the class. This is the physical entity and it contains state and behavior. Object is the physical entity. It contains two parts. One is the state and behavior. State means it is the data. That means data. State means data. The data means we are giving the variables, and behavior means we are giving the methods. We are giving the methods, and object contains an address and takes the some memory space. Whenever we create the object, then only memory will be allocated for the object. An object contains three characteristics: state, behavior, identity. State represents the data, behavior represents the functionality, that means the methods. Identity means every object having some unique ID, that is the object name. Unique ID. These are all about the object. Real world, that we are also human beings also, we can call it as a object. That means we are moving objects. Here pencil, apple, book, these are not movable object. Now we will see how to create an object. There are three steps to create an object. First one is declaration. First we have to declare the object. Next, instantiation. Third one is initialization. We can make these three steps in single statement, or we can make these three steps in different statements also, different statements also. Here first one is declaration. First one is declaration. Here I declare the student. S1 is the variable of the student class. That is the S1 is the object name. Here is the declaration part of the object. Next, by using new keyword. By using new keyword, we can create the object. That is the instantiation. Next step of the creating of an object is instantiation. That is new keyword. Okay, by using new keyword, we can create an object. Well, next, initialization. Whenever we call the constructor, that is the initialization of the object. Whenever we, that is the initialization of the object. These are all about the object concept. Next, coming to the next object-oriented programming concept is inheritance. It is a main important pillar of the object-oriented programming. Inheritance represents the easier relationship. It is a easier relationship, which is or we can call it as a parent-child relationship. It is called it as a parent-child relationship. It is the in Java, inheritance is the mechanism where one class acquires the properties of another class. What properties means here? What? Methods and attributes. Properties means methods and attributes. That means one class properties and methods will be given to the next class. That concept we can call it as a inheritance in Java. Why we are using inheritance in Java? For method overriding method overriding, we are using these inheritance, and for code reusability concept, we are using the inheritance. These all code reusability is the main advantage of the inheritance concept. We can achieve the inheritance by using extends keyword. We can achieve the inheritance by using extends keyword. Now, the class which generates the properties as known the subclass, derived class, or child class. Here, there are two main elements in the inheritance. One is subclass. Second one is the superclass. Subclass and superclass. What is a subclass? The class which take the properties from another class. That concept we can that class we can call it as a subclass. Coming to the superclass, the class which is giving the properties to the another class, that we can call it as a superclass. That subclass also we can call it as a derived class or child class. Superclass also call it as we can call it as a base class or parent class. These are all about the inheritance concept. Next, the syntax of the Java inheritance is, here we are using extends keyword. Whenever we want to inherit the properties of one class to another class, we are using in extends keyword. First, class is the keyword, subclass name, extend, we are using the extends keyword, and superclass name. And again it contains the methods and fields. And coming to the types of inheritance, there are 5 types of inheritance there. One is single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. What is single inheritance? Single parent class and single child class. That means one subclass will be acquire the properties of one parent class. That is the single inheritance. That is one superclass, one subclass. And coming to the multi-level inheritance, two different levels of inheritances will be achieved. Here, main parent class, intermediate parent class. This one is the child class. And coming to the third one, hierarchical inheritance. Here, one parent class and two child classes. One is, that means these two, class B and class C, inherit the properties of class A. That is the hierarchical inheritance. Coming to multiple inheritance, two parent classes, one child class. Here, this class C acquires the properties of both class A and class B. This class C acquires the properties of class A and class B. This is the multiple inheritance. Coming to the hybrid inheritance. This is the combination of two types of inheritance, two inheritances. That is class A. This one is the hierarchical inheritance, and plus this one is the multiple, both combination of the hierarchical and multiple. That we can call it as a hybrid inheritance. Coming to the Java, multiple inheritance is not supported in Java through classes. Why? Due to the ambiguity problem. These multiple inheritance is not supported in Java through classes. But these multiple inheritance and hybrid inheritance is supported through interface only. Through interface only, we can write the multiple and hybrid inheritance. And through classes, we can't achieve this multiple inheritance and hybrid inheritance. Next, coming to the next concept, next object-oriented programming concept is polymorphism. Polymorphism is the Java concept by which they perform single action in different ways. It means single action in different ways. That means this polymorphism is derived from two Greek words. One is poly and second one is morphs. The word poly means many and morphs means forms. So polymorphism means many forms. Coming to the types of polymorphism in Java is two types. One is compile time polymorphism. Second one is runtime polymorphism. Two types of polymorphism available in Java. One is compile time polymorphism. Second one is runtime polymorphism. Method overloading is the example for compile time polymorphism. Method overloading is the example for compile time polymorphism. The method overriding is the example for runtime polymorphism. Sorry. Compile type polymorphism is R. We can call it as a static method dispatch, and it is achieved by using the method overloading. What is method overloading? Method overloading means multiple methods having the same name but parameters are different. That is method overloading. This method overloading will be achieved resolved at the compile time based on the arguments passed. Whenever we pass the different arguments to different same method names, then only at the time of compilation, this method overloading will be achieved. Example for method overloading is, here I am taking the addition is the class. Here I declare the addition class. This addition class, here define two methods. Two add methods, but method name is same. Here add two method names are same, but parameters are different. Here in first add method, it contains three parameters of integer type. Int A, int B, int C. This first add method contains the integer data type. That means parameters are different. Coming to the second add method, return type is double and three. It also contains three parameters. One is double A, double B, double C. Here in method overloading, method names are same. Parameters are different. That is method overloading. Here this program demonstrate about the addition of 3 integers and addition of 3 double numbers. Coming to the this this is the main class, and here I declare the main method public static void main. Here I create the object, that is obj of the addition method. Here whenever we pass the 1, 2, 3 integers, then this method will be, first add method will be called. Whenever we pass the 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, second add method is which contains the double values, that add method will be, this will be achieved at the time of compilation. This method calling will be differentiate at the time of compilation. That this is the method overloading concept. Here this is the output of the 6.0. First of the add method output is 6, second output add method is the 6.0. Next, coming to the second type of the polymorphism is runtime polymorphism. Runtime polymorphism is also known as the dynamic method dispatch. It occurs when a method called to resolve at runtime. It is achieved using method overriding concept. Method overriding means subclass provides its own implementation of a method already defined in superclass. That means the method have the same name, same parameters and same return type, but scope is different. One method in the parent class, another method in the subclass. Not at runtime, the method that gives the execute depends on the actual object, not the reference type. Example for the method overriding is, here first I declare the one parent class. This is the parent class. It contains the print method. First print method. Here I am not passing any arguments. Simply I am giving the output statement. That is system.out.println. Here we print the parent class. Here I use the inheritance concept. Class subclass 1 extends the parent class. Subclass 1 extends the parent class. Here also we will define one method, that is the print. Same method name, same return time. Here also I am not passing any parameters. Here also I am write the code, that is system.out.println. This is the printing statement. Here printing the some text, that is the subclass 1. Again here I define one more subclass, that is the subclass 2 extends parent. Again it extends from it inherits from the parent class. Here also this method will be override. This print method will be override in these two subclasses. Coming to the whenever we call this a.print, this subclass 1, this is the this a is belongs to subclass 1. Okay, whenever we call this print, this subclass print method will be executed. Whenever after call this function, again we create the object for the second subclass. Whenever we call this statement a.print, means this second print method will be, second subclass print method will be executed. That's why output for this program is subclass 1 to subclass 2. These are all about the polymorphism. Polymorphism contains two types: runtime polymorphism, compile time polymorphism. Method overriding is the example for runtime polymorphism, and method overloading is the example for compile time polymorphism. Next, coming to the next topic, abstraction. Abstraction means hiding the internal details and showing the functionality is known as the abstraction. Hiding the internal details and showing the functionality is known as a abstraction. For example, phone call. We don't know the internal processing of the phone call, but we can make the calls. That is the abstraction. In Java programming, abstraction is achieved by using the abstract classes and interfaces. By using abstract classes and interface, we can achieve the data abstraction in Java. What is an abstract class? The abstract class contains abstract methods and concrete methods. Abstract class contains two types of methods, either abstract methods and concrete method. What is an abstract method? Abstract method means that is the method prototype. It does not contain any method body. Abstract method means it does not contain any method body. This is the prototype of the method. Concrete methods are, it is the normal methods. It is the definition. It contains the body to the body of the method also. That means implementation of the methods also contain those methods we can call it as a implementation is that methods we can call it as a concrete methods. Next, interface. Interface is the blueprint of class. It is used to achieve the 100% abstraction in Java. Whenever we want to achieve the 100% abstraction in Java, we are using these interfaces. Okay, the interface contains only abstract methods and constant values, but no method bodies. That means abstract methods means only it contains only the prototypes, no method bodies. That is the interface. By using these two, we can achieve the data abstraction in Java. By using abstract class, by using interface, we can achieve the abstraction in Java. Next, coming to the another concept of object-oriented programming is encapsulation. Encapsulation means binding the data and methods. Binding the data and methods into a single unit. That unit, like class. Binding the data and methods into a single unit. That concept, mechanism, we can call it as a encapsulation. Then see this diagram. These methods and data we can combinedly we can keep into a single class. That concept we can this concept we can call it as a encapsulation. We can achieve the in encapsulation in class data and method. We can make the data in private. Whenever we can make the data as a private, we can achieve the data hiding. And whenever we want to access these data, whenever we declare the data as a private, we can access these private data by using these methods. That is the encapsulation technique. This class is the example for encapsulation. Encapsulation is achieved using the private data members. When we declare the data members as a private and declare the methods as a public. By using these two, we can achieve the encapsulation in Java. What is the advantage of the advantage of encapsulation in Java is data hiding, code reusability. These two are the advantages of the encapsulation in Java. Thank you.